Get ready. It's time for a well-deserved break, Pittsburgh, with Heather Abraham and David Highfield from the KDKA TV studios. It's Pittsburgh Today Live.
Happy Wednesday.
We made it to Wednesday, and we begin
certainly
with a
did.
question. What are you afraid of?
Oh, boy.
Really? What are you afraid of?
Yeah.
With
Well-
Halloween coming up, we thought it was time to talk about, like, what scares you?
And
Like, some of the unusual things that might, like, do you have something that you immediately gets your heart racing?
I don't know. You know, I swear we lived in a scary apartment or two when I was younger. Like
You
a
mean like a
haunted,
haunted apartment?
Yes, I swear we did. And so I have this fear of, I don't know, being scared. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to be
it does
scared
make
by
sense.
something.
This is deep. This is like a psychological, like, we're delving down. No, you know what? I mean, mine is simpler than that. Mine is snakes.
I was going to say clowns. It's snakes for you.
Well, look, I'm not a fan of clowns either, but like snakes are the thing that, like, if I see a snake, my heart starts. Like, I remember
Yeah.
playing like Nerf football barefoot as a kid in the grass, and I feel this thing under my foot.
yeah,
And it
well,
was
that
like
would be
it
enough.
was
That would
it was a green snake. It was
Yeah.
not, you know, but that was enough to like. And then remember when the Wild World of Animals guy came
Oh, right.
and had the python right here?
Yeah.
That was a moment of like facing your fear.
You know, I wonder if a lot of your fears come from childhood development, like
I
something
bet.
that happened that frightened you as a child. Like for
Yes.
me, it was that feeling like, oh my gosh, there's something
There's
here. Is there a
someone
ghost here?
There
Oh
are
my
noises.
God. Right. For you, it was the snake. So I wonder if that's where that
I
stuff
don't know.
comes from.
Dr. Abraham, you should write your thesis on that.
I'm working on it.
Anyhow, we say all this because we want to talk about this study that a company called Your Local Security did. So they analyzed search data, and what they found was state by state,
Yeah.
people's biggest fear. And anthropophobia.
Anthropophobia.
I
I like how there's a hyphen there.
It
in the
just
title.
rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? So that's the fear of people, and it turned out it was people's biggest overall phobia.
That makes total sense right now.
Yeah.
I've
well,
had
right
people
now I think
jump back
yes.
because
Because they thought you were too close or you were
Right.
coming too close.
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a weird
it
time
is
that we're living
such a
in.
weird time.
And
oh
so
my gosh.
obviously the pandemic has affected this. The top one in Pennsylvania is fear of flying.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of people, that's common in a lot of states. Fear of being alone also popped up. Fear of the outside, fear of the dark.
I'm trying to look at this map here. Clowns. We
Fear-
got clowns on there.
clowns?
Oh wait, look at California. Yay for California. It says social media.
Now that's truly something we should be afraid
Honestly.
of. That's a
Honest
great
to
fear.
goodness.
All right, so and then of course there are a lot of different fears and there's a lot of weird names for them.
Yeah.
And so we wanted
Anthropophobia.
to, yeah, anthropophobia is one of them. We're going to learn some more because we thought today's the perfect day to give Heather a rapid fire quiz.
I swear this isn't vodka.
Let's see. It probably should be, given what we do to you with these quizzes.
go.
All right, so these are like big name words, and then I'm going to give you two choices, and you tell me which is this a fear of.
All right, okay,
So-
this is so much easier than
right.
just like guessing a random
Right.
name. Okay.
Aquaphobia, is it a fear of water or a fear of Aquaman?
Water?
It's a fear of water, yeah.
Have you
Okay.
made these super easy like that? Or
No, not all of them are going to be that easy, but I figured out of the gate we're going to give her one, right?
All right.
Okay, ophidiophobia, fear of snakes or fear of sea creatures?
sea creatures?
Snakes.
No, stop it.
It's
That's
true.
what you suffer from.
I do.
Ophidiophobia.
Ophidiophobia. I hope I'm not saying these right. Arachnophobia. Is it a fear of putting together IKEA furniture or a fear of spiders?
Arachnia might be one of the
I know.
designers.
I think
they
that was one of the kitchen design shelving systems.
It's spiders, yes.
Yes, you got that one. Colorophobia. Is it a fear of color or a fear of clowns?
Say it again.
Colorophobia. Fear of color, fear of clowns.
I thought that fear of clowns.
It is a fear of clowns.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm saying this wrong. Aticophobia. Aticophobia, a fear of ticks or mites or a fear of failure.
A fear of failure.
You're correct.
I see what you're doing here, though.
Right.
I'm
well,
picking
I
up
wasn't
on
going to make
it.
them too easy,
I'm
right?
picking it up,
All right.
yeah.
Gamophobia, fear of playing games or fear of making commitment.
Fear of making commitment.
You're right.
Because I'm
I think
on
you've
to you.
caught on to what I'm doing. All right. Nyctophobia, fear of the dark or fear of Nicolas Cage?
Really?
It's fear of Nicolas Cage.
No, it's not.
It's fear of the dark. All right, we got two
Is
more.
anyone afraid of Nicolas Cage?
He's everywhere, you know.
What was the movie he was in where they steal the baby? You don't remember?
I don't know.
You know what?
Was this
Never
a movie
mind.
from the 90s?
Raising Arizona. Thank
Raising
you,
Arizona.
Jill.
All right. If it's a movie from the 90s, you know I don't know it. Acrophobia, fear of acrobats or fear of heights?
Fear of heights.
Yes. And finally, trypanophobia, fear of spiders or fear of needles?
Oh, see, this totally. What is it called when you eat too much turkey and you get tired?
Oh, that's tryptophan. Yeah, I was going to say trigonosis, which is like uncotam or something.
Okay, wait. So what is it again?
All right, trypanophobia, fear of spiders or fear of needles?
A fear of needles.
You are correct. I would say you aced the quiz.
Well, you made it so
You're
easy.
too smart. You're too smart for
Nicolas
us.
Cage.
It's possible. There might be people who suffer from that.
Oh boy, I am so proud of you for finding this next TikTok
I know.
video.
I found the TikTok video.
This is really cool,
Which is
too.
remarkable. So Heather always finds the TikTok videos.
But you found it this time, and this is actually a challenge. If you are a subscriber to TikTok, then you know that you've seen this couples challenge where the couples stand together and they give each other an item, what they think is their favorite, right?
Right, so they say like breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
And then you pull up from under the table and I give you whatever is your favorite breakfast cereal,
Right.
and likewise. Yeah.
And so this led to an engagement. You have to take a look.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Favorite drink?
Yes. Hang on. Hang on. Ta-da.
Yay.
What's the next one?
Favorite snack?
Oh, we got that. Yeah, I like goldfish.
Then we need something to do together.
Puzzle.
Yes.
What a way to do it. What a way to
Surprise.
do
And
it.
people are posting on here because if you watch the whole thing, he seems a little nervous.
Oh yeah, you can totally tell.
And so, I mean, now it makes sense knowing that this is what he was. Also, this is a man who likes his Gatorade.
Favorite snack?
Yeah,
is what
well,
we've
clearly
learned.
he likes all the flavors of Gatorade.
Right.
Most people have a favorite flavor.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Gatorade fan. Frankie
Yeah,
loves
neither
it,
am
and to be honest, I don't know what his favorite flavor is, but I'm sure it exists.
Okay.
People have favorite flavors. I don't know.
We thought that was
That's so cute,
It was
though.
just a neat way to propose. And we love proposal stories. And I assume she said yes, or he would not have posted it.
I imagine
It cuts off before there's an answer. But
Yeah, we're gonna say yes.
we're going to say yes.
We'll say
because we
yes.
like happy endings.
Yeah.
So we're just going to say that. All right, Reader's Digest has come out with a great list. They're like polite habits, or kind of polite habits, that actually annoy people. So we want.
This sounds like me altogether.
What? Really? You're kind of polite, but you annoy people?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
what you
no,
think?
no. Like the other side.
That's
Like I
not
can
true.
see me saying like, "That's so annoying."
Oh, I see.
All the
that you would find
politeness.
all the polite things annoying. That does sound like you. It does sound like
Yeah.
you. It's like Heather would find this totally annoying. All right. So number one on the list is showing up early, which I don't think is polite. Like you should show up
Oh,
on
no,
time. But if
no.
you're invited somewhere at 6 o'clock, like
Right.
if we're having a dinner party, I could still be in the shower at 10 till.
Right.
Like there's
last
no
minute stuff. You got to get the last minute stuff done.
Right. I think that is. I don't think
I-
that's a polite thing.
I agree.
actually,
Okay.
Showing up early.
Number 2,
Mm-hmm.
oof, driving the speed limit.
Okay, so this gets you.
Yeah.
But it's the speed limit, Heather.
Come on. Come on. No, and I'm all for this.
Right.
In certain, like if you're in a neighborhood, 25, yes,
Yes.
abide by it.
Right.
Yes, there are kids playing, there are families walking, there are people walking their dogs. Yes.
But if you're on a highway and someone, especially even if they're going under the speed limit, and some
Like
people do,
55,
or they're in the passing lane going the speed limit.
Ohio.
What is all of Ohio does that?
Tell me. Okay, maybe I shouldn't because I'm sure we have some people from Ohio watching.
What?
People in Ohio always use the left-hand lane and they always drive slow in the left-hand lane.
Do they not know that it's meant for passing?
I don't know.
Because I've been to Ohio, I have
Yeah.
not noticed this phenomenon. I mean, I've noticed it in Pennsylvania sometimes. People just riding in the passing lane,
Yeah.
and it gets Gary so upset. Gary is just like,
Get
what
over!
is this person doing? And he's yelling at them, and I'm like, they can't hear you. I can only hear you.
And that's when you do the hand pat.
Right, that's
It's
what I
gonna
do.
be okay.
Let's calm down, everybody.
Someone told me once that it's because they paved the left-hand lane in Ohio before they paved the right-hand lane, and so people often use the left-hand lane because it's out of habit.
So
I
it's
don't know
smoother.
if that's true, but someone who was from Ohio told me that once before.
Oh my gosh, the knowledge that might be true that,
That
you're
may
dropping
be
on us.
That could possibly maybe
All right.
true.
According to Reader's Digest, the third thing that polite people do that annoys other people is stacking up the finished plates. And like if you're a guest in someone's home, I think it's nice to help out, but you don't want to start doing it until sort of the host signals, because sometimes people aren't even done. I have
Right.
been to dinners where people aren't even done, and someone is stacking up stuff in the
plates.
kitchen.
I do this at restaurants. Like we try and clean up the table, well, pre-COVID, we would
Right.
clean up the table because of the kids, but this is not
Just
that.
to make
This is like at
space.
a house party.
Yeah. And that's just with your family there, and you just want to like have space so the kids can do stuff and not get in their dishes.
And then ordering for someone else is on the list too.
Which in like a romantic movie from the 50s, maybe that seems impressive.
She'll take an old
Yes.
fashioned. Like
She'll have because it seems like chivalrous or something.
Right.
But like, no.
yeah.
Who wants that?
No, I don't.
Although I would trust you to order for me.
Well,
Because I
would
think you know me well enough
to say
that like,
we should do this.
okay, so what are we gonna do? We're gonna play the
Oh,
TikTok
play the
game.
TikTok. She said.
We should play the TikTok
Are you gonna
game.
ask me to
Jill in our
marry?
ear. I think we're both taken, Heather.
We should do that. That would be so much fun.
That would be fun. All right, let's do it next week. All right, Jill said we can do it. So.
Game time.
Game time, we love games. All right, right now it is time to take a break because we have a lot to get to this hour. And coming up, we're talking football food. Rainier is cooking up game day pizza and more. We're cheering on the Steelers from home since most of us can't go to Heinz Field to watch these days. So this is the perfect food for your at-home tailgate.
Plus, Zelina Pompiani shares a special story with us that really shows the need the KDKA TV Turkey Fund can help feed this Thanksgiving time. She introduces us to a local woman working hard to keep food on the table for her children and grandchildren.
And America at a crossroads. We are live in Erie with CBS This Morning anchor Tony DeCopel to see what the people in Pennsylvania are saying right now about how they're going to vote. After all, the election is just 13 days away. It's coming up fast.
That and your pet Halloween pictures ahead on this Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. Did we mention we're glad you're with us?